Another issue is privacy, and this is especially an issue as we've come into the digital era because there is so much information that is available about us, to us, and through us. Your smartphone is smarter than you are. It knows more about you than you know. It knows where you've been. It knows who you talks to. It knows what your plans are. It knows what you like to look at on the web. It knows where you are. It knows whether you're moving. It knows what angle you're holding it at. And all of that information is available because you clicked on that I agree to play a game. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And one of the big issues, especially for people who are young versus old, is when we're young, we have different perceptions of what's appropriate behavior and what's privacy. And because storage is so cheap, you have to assume that anything digital is forever. So that those fun pictures you took in high school while you were having a blast out in the park, those are still there. And you want to be careful when you're looking for a job as an investment banker that those photos don't show up. But again, just be sensitive to anything that you put on the web. Just assume it's there forever. Companies have privacy policies, but what happens to those privacy policies if the company is sold? Is that binding on the person who buys that information? And many companies will buy a company just for the information that it has as much as for the product that it wants. And it's interesting, there's a lot of research there's a disconnect between what people say they want in privacy and what actually happens. So we'll say people, like in surveys, they will say that my sexual preferences is nobody's business, and my political affiliation is nobody's business, and then you go on Facebook and go, yay, gays for Trump. So I say one thing, but my behavior is totally another. And what happens 15 years from now when perhaps you don't feel that way anymore? Another issue is just combining multiple data sources. There have been many studies on this. Is behavior on the web, especially that's tracked by cookies, is anonymous. But I can build a profile based on your behavior following cookies that can give me a pretty good idea as to what your actual identity might be. Is that scary to you? Yeah. And as my colleague said, is you don't know that your privacy has been violated if you don't know that your privacy has been violated. Another issue is data security. This is becoming more and more an issue with theft of confidential information in terms of identity theft, in terms of businesses getting hacked and having the U.S. was Office of Personnel and Management having their personnel files hacked so that whoever hacked them knows the identities of all of the people who were in covert operations because they had to have a file at the OPM. And a lot of times the weakness is not necessarily in your security but in your channel partners. So it's, Target may be gung-ho on security, but their computer repair people might have allowed a virus into the system. Yeah, mobile data is just super sensitive because it's so personal. We have our phones with us all the time. It has a tremendous amount of data on us, and all of that is searchable. All of that is collectible.